Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back on Gran Turismo Sport, this time out for the opening round of the 2020 Manufacturers Series. A very long and intense schedule is meant to be going on throughout 2020 and we'll wait and see as to how much of this series that we end up doing. But yeah, today to kick off our Manufacturers fight though, we are in the Lamborghini, so hopefully we're going to be bringing some fake GRAZIE or RAGAZZIs back to Italy here, but obviously we'll have to wait and see about that. But currently on board though with my fastest qualifying lap, seen a couple of interesting things actually, talking about the Manufacturers and the Nations Cup Series for 2020. It's looking intense, it's something ridiculous like 40 weeks or something, and then there's 4 races a week that you've got to do and everything like that. It's Wednesdays and Saturdays, Wednesdays and Sundays even I should say, for the Manufacturers Series, and then Tuesdays and Saturdays for the Nations Cup. So probably for me our best bet is going to be in the Manufacturers Series to be able to do a little bit more racing, but we'll wait and see about that. But yeah, week 1 though takes us to Spa in the Group 4 cars here, and this was actually a combo that I quite like, mainly because it's Spa, and most cars I do quite enjoy racing around this circuit, so how good Spa is as a racing circuit at the end of the day. But yeah, felt like I was in quite a good little groove. Obviously I've driven the Lamborghini Group 4 car in a few leagues in the past, obviously back in ILR, back in the day, you know, that was probably, what, well over a year ago now as well, and that was really good fun in that. So I feel like this is probably the one car in GT Sport I actually know fairly well, although I'm sure a lot of people will be able to go much quicker than myself anyway in this car. But yeah, hopefully we can just have a nice clean race, obviously try and get back used to this game, everything like that. Once again, every time I come back to this I feel like I'm rusty at GT Sport. I feel one lap pace I'm usually alright at, but getting a race hooked up obviously with the weird sort of tyre wear model and the fuel and everything like that, I do tend to struggle a little bit with. So hopefully over the course of 2020 we can finally get ourselves settled down in that sense here. But yeah, as we head through the exit of Stavolo then up in towards the final few corners of the lap, the current time to beat is a 1:28.025 here, and my practice times have been a bit quicker than that, but obviously on full race fuel, everything like that, we were probably going to struggle just a little bit here as we head down in through Blanchimont here, completely pinned, don't quite get the car on the inside curve there, but we do get a nice wide exit as we head now, breaking down just after the 150 metre board in towards the bus stop chicane to finish off the lap, keep it nice and tidy as best as possible here, and out of the final corner there, it's still a 1:28.025 to beat, and we set a 1:27.734 there, so we sneak ourselves up on to the pole position there, ahead of a couple of Caymans there, an NSX in 4th ahead of a GT86, and then another Cayman, F-Types, Megans. We've got quite a wide variation, but I was the only Lambo in this lobby there. Megans, GTR, an M4, an SLS, a Mustang, but the Cayman was definitely a popular choice here, probably because of how good the Group 3 car is as well at the end of the day. But yeah, we're ready then here for the Manufacturers Series in 2020. I'm excited, let's do this thing. So here we are then on the grid, ready for the first pre-season race of the 2020 Manufacturers Series. You can see our beautiful grey Lamborghini there on the pole, and like I said, quite an interesting little field spread, but the Cayman was definitely a very popular choice there, making up 2nd and 3rd there. An NSX Group 4 car in P4 ahead of a Toyota 86, another Cayman in 6th there ahead of an F-Type and a Renault Megane. I'm sure the Renault would be a very popular choice if it was the other Group 4 car there. GTR in 9th ahead of an M4, in 10th there ahead of an SLS just outside the top 10 on the grid there with a Mustang, another Cayman in P13 there. I think that's the 4th or 5th one. We've seen another Cayman there as well ahead of an Evo final edition there. Another Cayman just because why not a Mercedes SLS in 17th there with a VW Scirocco, a Peugeot even, I should say, RCZ, and then a WRX rounds out the order there, ready for the start of this race. So we are the one lone Lamborghini in this race, but like I said, hopefully we can bring back some fake Grazies back to Italy here. But yeah, get ready then for the start of this race. The only mandatory tyre is the medium, so we're going to start on a set of softs and then hopefully take a set of the mediums right the way through to the end of this race there. But all the planes flying over to create the Belgian flag, and it's lights out and away we go there, ready for the start of our 2020 Manufacturers Series. Now, got one aim in the opening couple of laps of this race, and that is try to build up a 1 second margin, escape, as it's known, the suck zone on GT Sport there. But yeah, hopefully we can just try to break out. You know, over 1 second, you're normally pretty safe, so that is definitely going to be the aim over the first couple of laps here. But obviously, we need to settle down into a rhythm as well. This was actually the first GT Sport race I was doing on my new Formula style rim as well here. So we'll wait and see as to how this goes there as we get a little bit loose over the top of Eau Rouge and Radion there. Actually wallop the curb on the exit, which is going to ruin our run down this back straightaway down the Kemmel Straight here as we head up in towards the chicane for the first time here. And this was one weird corner that I was struggling at actually to get the car slowed down. Normally the curbing is my braking reference there. But you can see just trying to brake at that curbing mark there and just running a little bit deep there as the Porsche just behind is going to think about trying to look around the outside of it. Just going to make sure we get a nice good run off the exit of the corner there as we head down in towards the hairpin here. And like I said, he, I think, is on a set of the medium compound tyres for the start of this race here. So we'll wait and see as to how this works out for himself here. Now, I'm guessing he's trying to do the alternate strategy. Maybe a 2-stop. We'll have to wait and see about that. Just obviously depends on how well the tyres stay in a good nick here. But obviously we don't have the dirty air at the moment as we head through Pouhon here, so hopefully we can try and get a good run down there. And you can see just putting out a little bit of time now from the guy behind. Normally, you know, the slipstream is more powerful than the dirty air nonetheless, but like I said, we need to try and build up a little bit of a margin here over the opening couple of laps of this race. Obviously, just because these tyres are probably going to hit the cliff fairly early on as well over the course of this session here as we head now down through Stavolo 1 and Stavolo 2 here. We've had an okay opening lap, I think. You know, the gap to the second has stayed pretty neutral there as he's actually not going to get the best run out onto the back straightaway here, so we're hopefully going to be able to pull out that margin just a little bit more now as we head up in towards Blanchemont here. We've done alright. We've held on to the lead. That's probably the biggest thing that we needed off the start of this race. But yeah, now we need to try and build up that margin there as we get very, very loose through at Blanchemont there, lose a little bit of time as now in towards the bus stop chicane to finish lap 1 there. Get it slowed down nice and tidy there. Take a lot of curb through the first part of the corner there, but the Cayman behind ruins his run through the chicane there, and that is going to instantly open up that 1 second margin that we needed as we head on to the second lap of this race there. So that was absolutely perfect just through that bus stop chicane. The Lambo quite good at getting the front end rotated through. Obviously it is mid-engine, so you can get down on the power nice and tidily, but then again the Cayman as well is, if I'm not mistaken there. But yeah, now the 1.1 second margin, that was absolutely what we needed here. And you can see as we head on to lap 3 though, we had built up a bit of a margin here, but this is now where the tyres are starting to go off just a little bit here, running a little bit wide actually as we head out through No Name there. As you can see, as we head down the hill, we are going to pick up a ½ second time penalty there, so that was really not what we needed in this race there. Now you can see in towards Pouhon here, just getting a bit unsettled, losing that rhythm there. We make a big mistake through there, and that's going to cost us a good second as well here. And you can see just these guys behind are very, very quickly swarming back in again. It's just no idea what happens to the car here, just lacking the rotation that we need. The Lambo isn't the best on the tyres, but I never thought it was that bad as well here, so we're going to try and go for a couple of drastic meshes there, move the brake bars to the rear, and I wish I'd done that at the start of this race here, because we could have saved ourselves a lot of time and a front tyre wear here if we'd done that from the start, because yeah, it doesn't really cost you much as well. I personally prefer a bit of a heavy front brake bias, but that's just generally speaking. I haven't really tested it too much on GT Sport there. As we head now up in towards Blanchemont here to finish lap 3, you can see the Spaniard is closing up quite quickly behind them. Makes a bit of a mistake through Blanchemont, which is going to give us a little bit of breathing air as we head down in towards the final chicane of lap 3 here. Just struggling to get the front end rotated through once again here, and you can see the Cayman that time round has got a much better run out of the final couple of corners. So yeah, we are really starting to struggle at the moment here, and I was planning on trying to take these softs to the end of lap 5 here, but they are completely going off at the moment as we head through turn 1. They're trying to get the power down nice and tidily here, just trying to, you know, not take too many big risks, but also trying to keep it tidy, clean, and everything like that as we now head down in towards Eau Rouge once again here. I'll be able to get the run up the hill that we need. They're taking a lot of curb on the entry there, and actually one of the best runs I think I ever managed to get through Eau Rouge and rounding on there, but still the Cayman just behind us is going to be able to get a monumental run as we head down the straight here. Obviously, we've got to take our penalty as well there, so he's going to fly straight past us as we head in towards the next braking zone there. And you can actually see the German in the other Cayman as well. They're trying to go for a bit of a send up the inside there. We're going to give him a big squeeze over the inside curbs that hang him out to dry as we head through the next part of the chicane there. And yeah, now the Spaniard has started to build up a little bit of a margin here as our tyres are completely going off. Can't get the car slowed down where we need to as well here as we head down the hill once again here. You can see just trying to get the front end rotated through there. We're going to make another mistake. We're going to run wide again through that corner there, and that is going to be another half a second penalty here. So struggling a bit with the consistency at the moment here as we've seen over the last couple of laps there, and this time out as we head through Pouhon there, just get caught over the AstroTurf there, as you can see, just understeering massively wide, actually clipping the tyre wall on the outside there on the exit of Pouhon there. As you can see, we now have to slot back down into P3 of this race there, but the understeer is absolute, you know, it's completely taken over the car at the moment here. Is onto the end of lap 4 here. We're going to try and get it slowed down nice and tidily in towards the final chicane there, and yeah, we're going to dive it into the pits and now try to take a set of the medium tyres as far into this race as we can go there. But unfortunately, at the moment, it's looking like these, you know, the fuel won't actually make it through to the end of this race. So this was, you know, this should have been another critical reason as to why we made that, you know, why we tried to make that one-stop work, why we should try to hang on for just one more lap in this race and then face the consequences towards the end of the race there. But yeah, we're going to come out right towards the rear of the field here, but hopefully, you know, we're going to try and make this two-stop work here still, you know, under fueling the car ever so slightly. We're going to try and get to the end of lap 8 and then with a bit of luck take the softs right the way through to the end of this race here as we head back out now of the pit lane down in P14 of the race here behind a Frenchman in the Cayman here, and hopefully over these next couple of laps, you know, we should be able to make a bit of progress over these guys. Obviously, we're effectively in a net battle now with these guys, but obviously we should have quite a big tyre advantage there as the Cayman and the Mustang both make a bit of a mistake here. We're going to move to the outside there, and the Mustang's actually going to give us the room there, so that's 2 for 1 as we head down in towards the Faniard chicane here towards the end of the lap there, and I will quite happily take that one there. And yeah, we've just got so much extra grip over these guys at the moment here. You know, this is really what does happen on a GT Sport. You know, you end up battling with cars for a short period of time there. At the end of lap 5, now we're seeing a lot of the guys that we tried to do the same strategy as, diving in to the pit lane here. So we've all got one more stop to go in this race, but I'm going to have much fresher tyres pretty much throughout the entirety of this stint now all over the back of the Subaru that actually started at the rear of the field here. And he's got a half a second penalty as well, so hopefully we should be able to get past him as we head up the Kemmel Straight once again in this race here. Now just over the halfway stage of this race, we're about 23 seconds back from the leaders here, so we've lost a lot of time trying to make this two-stop work here, and I never realised how much time the pit stops actually cost you on GT Sport. I thought it was a much less gap than that here, but as we head now up the Kemmel Straight here, you can see he's going to ghost, and for some reason the ghosting didn't quite work in time, so we're going to give the Subaru quite a big help as we head up in towards the braking zone there. That was not really what I needed, but I guess, you know, we're helping other drivers out in this race here as we now head on towards the end of lap 6 here. Next up was an F-Type actually struggling just in front of us here, so we're going to try and get past him as best as possible. They're very slow on the inside there. He's going to understeer out wide into us, just about keeping out of the gravel trap there, and we're going to be able to go full send up the inside through the next couple of corners there. And yeah, we're now back up into P6 of this race here. It's on to the end of lap 8. We would actually be able to keep with the Caymans there, but yeah, we would have to dive it in on the end of this lap here for our second and hopefully last pit stop of the day here. But yeah, it's not quite been the race we needed, but hopefully we can try and gain something in towards the end of this race here. You know, I think we were still looking like we were in quite a good position, you know, P5, P6 at the end of the day, and hopefully pick up some good points from that. But yeah, really, you know, we probably did throw away a race victory, that what it could have been at the end of the day there. But yeah, just putting in 3 laps of fuel to take us through to the end of the race there, so we don't have to worry about fuel modes there. And you can see just how big a gaggle of cars it was there. We went from 16th to 5th back out of the pit lane there, obviously just because of the weird janky pit stop position mechanics on GT Sport there. But yeah, we're back up now in P5 of this race, so we've got about a 10.5 second margin to the Hungarian up in front there. I'm not actually too sure what car he's in as we head out of onto the Camel Straight once again. They make a big mistake through a Rouge and Rally on once again there, and we've got another car trying to close in. It looks like it's the Megane, so hopefully we should be just about far enough ahead to hold on from him there. We're going to make a neutral brake bias once again here as we head down in towards the braking zone here. Yeah, now, yeah, like I said, we've got about a 10.5 second margin, 3 laps. That, in any other game, you'd say that's impossible, but GT Sport is a very, very weird and wonderful game in terms of the time mechanics here. So, you know, we got a fresher set, we got a quicker set. Hopefully we can just try and hang on in there and see where we end up in this race here as we head now down through in towards No Name once again here. We've picked up a couple of penalties through here so far this race, but this time around we do keep it just about nice and tidy, a little bit ragged on the way in there, but we do hold on to fight another day here as we head now down in towards P1 here. And it looks like the Megane wants to try and go with me in this race here, wants to try and stick in the slipstream here as we head down in towards the Fania chicane once again here in this race. 2 laps to go here, and you can see the Megane lagging around a lot behind us there. I'm not too sure what that was all about, but you can see in the bottom right hand side of our screens here, online features are unavailable as the PlayStation Network could not be reached. What is happening? Are we going to be facing a disconnect in the first round of the 2020 Manufacturer Series here as we head out of Stavolo here up in towards Blanchemont? This is not what we needed. We have not had a particularly good race at the moment here as we head now up in towards Blanchemont, and it's looking like it's not going away. And as we head in towards the fast chicane, the Blanchemont corner there, we have disconnected from Gran Turismo Online there, and that is absolutely heartbreaking. I've got no idea what to say about that one. I don't think I've ever had that on GT Sport before there, but yeah, that was absolutely gutting at the end of the day. They're not what we needed in the end. Thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless, though. Do get yourself subscribed if you want to see more of the Manufacturer Series. Hopefully next time out we will come back a little bit stronger here and hopefully at least make it through to the end of the race there. But yeah, that'll do us for this video then, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.